goals for Saturday besides win?
Yeah, we win, obviously. No, very similar to the last scrimmage we had. This first game, any season, you want to make sure you execute. You don't want to beat yourself. Talked a lot about that in our last scrimmage, the kind of warm-up scrimmage. A lot of execution. Don't beat yourself, pre-snap penalties, turnovers, and just let our players play fast. And if we can do those things, I think we have a chance to have success. But you want to make sure that you're fundamentally sound in that first game, because most people beat themselves, not get beat in the first game, and we make sure we don't do that.
Todd, you could have an offensive line with three guys starting that maybe weren't in that position even 2-3 weeks ago. Let me ask you about your confidence in kind of this new look and the way it's come together.
Well, I think the confidence comes, we feel that they're pretty good players, and there's a lot of talent there that was young talent that was coming on. I think the apprehension, if you will, or the question mark is how well everybody gels, the communication in the first game. And those guys, like you said, 3 guys will be the first-time starts in college football. I don't care who you're playing, when you're playing. There's a little bit of jitters and butterflies, but that's a good thing sometimes too, because there's a lot of intensity and excitement to it. So there'll be some plus and minus, there'll be some growing pains, but we think long term, if we can keep these guys together, in one unit, they have a chance to continue and grow as the season goes on.
Coach Holtz was careful to say that Lang being with the first team isn't just a function of a Q being dinged up, as it is him kind of stepping up and making the most of that. Well,
there's no doubt when, unfortunately a guy gets nicked, the next guy jumps in, and a guy like Max just kept on growing every day, which in the long run will give us 2 people that can play, because it's going to be a long season, and especially in the trenches, there's a lot of attrition, as we all know. So as a plus for Max to take that role and grow with it and run with it, and will only make us a better team long term.
Is this first game an audition for some guys who are you still looking at?
No, I don't see it that way. I mean, they're all auditioning, so to speak, because that first game's kind of like Christmas. You don't know what you're going to open up, even a guy that's played, because the first game, some guys react positively, some guys react negatively, first time under the lights. But, we've had 3 scrimmages. I think we have a pretty good gauge of what we have and what we don't have, so to speak. Now, I just want to, I'm excited to see him play. I think there'll be some surprises, and hopefully not on the negative side, but I look forward to seeing some of these guys go out and compete.
And every depth chart that's been released since this camp, the receivers been jumbled up a little bit. Any thoughts on what's?
Well, I think we have a lot of it's been talked about, a lot of depth there, and I think every day you have to come to work and hold your position. We're also looking for the right blend, because really at receiver you want to have it 2 deep. They run so much. We'd like to have a free flow where 1s and 2s, it doesn't matter who's in the game, just kind of close your eyes and call it. And so we're looking for that balance there. But I wanted to keep it the way it's been the last week to 10 days, because everybody's comfortable with their assignments. I didn't want to go out and flip a guy like this last week and maybe readjust our depth and have somebody confused assignment-wise, especially some of the younger guys that haven't played, much football. And so I want them to just be able to relax and play in this Saturday night's game, and that's why I think we've left it the way it is the last 10 days or so, week to 10 days, and I think there's going to be a lot of guys excited out there. It's going to be interesting to watch them go, because they'll be going 100 miles an hour for sure.
From a play calling standpoint, how much easier when you have the depth and kind of the wide range of options that you guys now have at the skill positions?
Well, you certainly have more options. You have different body types. I think we can throw the ball maybe vertically a little bit better than we have been in the past able to do, because we have maybe more than one guy that you can think can go down the field and get it. So we certainly want to try to do that to grow as an offense. We've done it, but not at a consistent basis as much as we wanted to. So, it makes it easier, but in some ways it makes it harder, because, everybody wants to touch it. And so you got to keep them all involved in it. You got to keep them all excited about it. And the biggest thing we'll stress to them as we get closer, and we've been stressing it all through camp, when you have your opportunity, go make the most of it, because that's the way to get, to receive more opportunities, is to make your plays when you have that chance.
What specific things did you see out of Hopkins that makes him become a starter?
He's just had a great camp. He's been consistent. He has great speed. And I think his role will be a lot like Lindsey's was last year in the slot. The speed guy, you use him on a lot of the hand sweep stuff. He's catching the ball much better than he has since we've been here. It was funny, a couple of guys, Coach Pathan, those guys were talking to Coach McGagan, and he was excited to hear it, because he'd always kind of been a hit and miss guy in the catches, and just a great kid that's worked hard. He's got some limitations because of his size, but there are roles within this offense that he can really excel, and he's done a very good job from 1 through 29, 30 days we've been at this thing, so he's done a nice job.
Terrence Mitchell's been holding on to another number 1 spot there. What have you seen of him do at the camp?
Well, just getting back into groove. He was in spring, got his feet wet again in spring, because missed most of last year, obviously. And he's been, every day he's gotten a little bit more consistent at this fall camp, you know, a little bit more probably confident in his own ability, you know, just to do everything right. He's always had big playability. But, you know, he just loves to play football. We've talked about that before about him. You know, you could choose 10 or 15 guys you would draft to go play on your team, you draft him because he loves to play, he loves to compete, and that's why he's where he's at.
Last one for Coach. Anything else?
I'm good.
Good, thank you.
I got one in the bank for next year.